What's going on, y'all? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. And in honor of the combine starting, we are going to talk about two of the best, quarterback prospects in this year's 2020 draft. That's Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama and Joe Burrow out of LSU. And I'm here to tell you, yes, I'm here to tell you, that Tua will have a better career than Joe Burrow. I said it here first. Tua Tagovailoa will have a better career and is a better prospect than Joe Burrow. Now, of course, it's like blasphemous to say this because Joe Burrow probably just had the best college football season in the history of college football. I mean, the man had 60 touchdowns. They won every game, undefeated season national champions, and defeated Clemson in the championship game in essentially a blowout. Like, they blew everybody out, basically, except for Alabama. And so Joe Burrow is just the hot name. He's the guy that everybody wants. And he is going to presumably go to the Cincinnati Bengals with the #1 overall pick. Now, do I think that's a mistake? No. I think the Bengals should take Joe Burrow. One, he's an Ohio kid. Two, he had just this remarkable season. And three, we don't know what Tua's medical is, right? So you can't really pass up on a guy who just had that season that's from Ohio for a guy that's injured, even though he probably, if healthy, 100% healthy and clears everything medically, is the better quarterback prospect. Now, here's why Tua is the better quarterback prospect. So Joe Burrow, like I said, just may have had the best college football season, but a lot of things just lined up perfectly for Joe Burrow. The first thing that we have to take into account that ultimately is what laid the foundation for everything to just go so perfectly for Joe Burrow. They got Joe Brady. All right. LSU will take a massive step back this season, the 2020 season, partly because they lost Joe Burrow, but mainly because they lost Joe Brady. Now, Joe Brady came in and just completely revolutionized, evolved the LSU offense. He came over from the Saints. He was a lowly assistant on the Saints. So basically, Ed Orgeron and his staff went to Sean Payton and was like, yo, we got to come up with something to help our offense. What do you guys got for us? How can you guys help us? And they said, man, we got this kid, Joe Brady. He's a really young guy, but he's really uber smart. You can have him, right? Sends over Joe Brady, and the whole offense is flipped upside down, and we saw the results of that. The 2019 season for them was historic. Joe Brady's gone. He did his job at LSU in 1 year, and the Carolina Panthers came calling. And now he's the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, and deservedly so, right? So Joe Brady is gone. LSU will take a step back because of that, but that was perfect for Joe Burrow. You got to think, after Joe Burrow's junior year, if he would have entered the draft, he would have been like a 5th-round pick. This dude threw 16 touchdowns as a junior. 16, that's it. And threw 60 the next year. You know what I'm saying? Scored 60 the next year. That's a hell of a jump. 16 to 60. Come on, man. Like, that is just astronomical. He didn't go from 30 to 60 or 25 or 40 to 60. He went from 16, I think about 20 total touchdowns. He tripled the amount of touchdowns he scored. So Joe Brady is part of that. Two, he had the best offensive line in the entire country, right? His offensive line won the award for the best offensive line in the entire country. Right? So that matters. That definitely matters. Because when you get to Cincinnati, they ain't going to have the best line in the country. And three, everything was so perfect. The championship game was in Louisiana. And Alabama had a bad year. Alabama, historically speaking, had a down year this season. They weren't in the New Year's Six. They weren't in the SEC championship. They had a bad season. Their defense was probably the worst Alabama defense since the early part of Saban's tenure at Alabama. Their defense was awful. They were horrible. And Tua missed several games because he got hurt. He missed the last 4 games, I want to say, 3 or 4 games because of injury. He was hurt in the games prior to that. He had hurt his ankle and his knee, and then the last 3 or 4 games, he broke his hip. So, everything was just so perfect for the LSU Tigers, and that's why Joe Burrow was able to succeed. But Tua, so let's go to the Tua side of the thing. Tua, we have never cared about a Alabama quarterback until Tua Tagovailoa showed up on campus, right? Jalen Hurts got us excited a little bit, but we saw the limitations. We knew he would never, or at least at the time, we didn't think he could be an NFL caliber quarterback. It was so bad that in the championship game at halftime, Nick Saban pulled the trigger, pulled Jalen Hurts out of the game, and inserted a freshman that hadn't played all year. Because he knew what type of talent Tua Tagovailoa was. And then over the last 2 years, Tua has 80 touchdowns over a 2-year span. That's 40 touchdowns apiece. And this last season, he missed 3 games. They played injured in 2 other ones, including the LSU game. He had 400 yards against LSU on 1 leg. The man had 400 yards on LSU with 1 leg. He missed several games because of his injury and still had 80 touchdowns. Peep this. Tua, as great of a season Joe Burrow had, Tua still had more, over the last 2 years, still had more touchdowns than Joe Burrow. And he missed more games because of injury. That's how talented Tua Tagovailoa is. Now you can say, oh, he plays at Alabama. They have the best of everything. This is true. This is true. I will say that they do have superior receivers. They got 2 receivers that are probably going to first round the same draft. But think about this. Think about it. Were those receivers the same when Tua went out? Was Jerry Jeudy's numbers were not the same as they were last year when he won the Biletnikoff. Henry Ruggs' numbers were not the same as they were last year when Tua went out this season. They weren't. They weren't. And Alabama has had supremely talented receivers before. Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones. Under the same Nick Saban era, and have never had a quarterback like this. Those receivers didn't have the numbers Jerry Jeudy had in his junior year or his sophomore year. And there's a reason, because they didn't have Tua at quarterback. Tua's the best quarterback prospect in this draft. He reminds me of Russell Wilson, just left hand. Maybe not as mobile, but deadly, deadly, deadly. Drew Brees accurate. And if his medical comes back, he's the best quarterback in this draft. Now, don't get me wrong. Joe Burrow is a good prospect. But the fact that he will go to Cincinnati, the fact that everything worked perfect his last college season, and we only have 1 year of good tape, 1 year of good tape, I'm going with the guy that's proven, inserted as a freshman in a national championship game, balled out, won them a championship. Sophomore year, historic SEC numbers. Junior year, on pace to break his sophomore year stats, but just got hurt. I'm going with that guy. That guy, Tua Tagovailoa, and the fact that I think he's going to end up in Miami. If he ends up in Miami with Brian Flores, now remember Brian Flores. Remember that name, because Brian Flores has those guys in Miami. We're talking about a team that was tanking, or that was visibly tanking, traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick, Larry Tunsil for 3 first-round picks. They were visibly tanking. Kenyon Drake. They shipped all of these guys out of town. All of these guys out of town, and they still managed to win enough games to put them in the 5th overall pick. The 5th overall pick, not number 1. Would you just trade away your 3 best, and your quarterback's Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Ryan Fitzpatrick. But they were able to revitalize Devontae Parker's career, and they have guys that play hard every single game, kept the Patriots from getting the 1 seed. They beat the New England Patriots, made them play in Wild Card Weekend. The Patriots had to play in Wild Card Weekend because they lost to the Miami Dolphins, because Brian Flores is a really good coach. And when Tua goes to Miami and plays under Brian Flores, that team is going to be very, very good very, very soon. And that is why I think Tua will have a better career. And think about it. Think about the division. Tom Brady's leaving. Tom Brady is going to be out of that division very soon. And you're going to go against a Jets team with Sam Darnold. I'll take Tua. And a Bills team with Josh Allen. I'm going to take Tua. Tua is going to be the best quarterback in that division the day he steps on the field. As long as Tom Brady's gone, which he will be very soon, even if Tom Brady resigns with the Patriots, he's going to be gone very soon. We're talking about a 43-year-old Tom Brady. Tua's going to have a great career. I think Burrow still has a chance to have a really good career, but if you're telling me who's the better quarterback, who's the better prospect, it's Tua. Who's going to have the better career, it's Tua Tagovailoa. Let me know what you think in the comments. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for watching. Continue to like and subscribe to our videos. Hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.